I know. Okay. I made it. I did it.
And you're
You
only
did it.
5 seconds in, 6, 7.
Oh my gosh. The pressure was so real.
Wow.
It was real.
It
You know,
was.
I could-
Definitely real.
I would not want to be caught running back into the frame. That would be so embarrassing.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Yeah.
That would be
I actually felt the
gust of wind.
I felt the tension over here.
Oh, don't you feel like I was like,
I mean, dang.
man, running back to the, to my set. I made it.
Hey, and there you are.
Yes.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Oh my
Hi,
gosh.
everybody.
I know.
How's your week been?
Woo.
Look,
Gosh.
this is almost like being a parent getting ready to sit down with your child to have a very
Right?
difficult
Like,
conversation.
I don't want to have to do this.
I don't want to have this talk. I really don't. Like, I really want to love you, but for whatever reason, we got to have this talk.
I would much rather be doing something else with you, buddy.
I know, right? This is going to hurt more than it hurts you.
I mean, can't we go play? I'd rather go play video games or something, or like.
I'd rather.
Yeah, please.
Right now.
Talk about fun things, but no, we got to talk about this. You know what? We are talking to the child, and that child right now is America, and we're actually looking at America, saying, we really would have enjoyed talking about something else, but now look what you did.
Again.
Now look at you.
Yeah, look at your ugly little self now. What did you do? What did you do? I'm not going to say the unspeakable because I'd be wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Next week you'll do something else.
Yep.
Again.
Again.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so listen, before we go ahead and we jump into this crap hole, like I really want to use other words, more colorful language, but this is an everybody podcast.
I thought you were afraid you might offend me. I was going to say no, just
not Chris.
do what you.
No, never Chris. But anyways, let me go ahead and get started. I'm Bernard, and I have with me
Chris Gordy,
Shakina Renee.
Yes, and this is episode number 15 of the Slanted Brow Show. Yes, we're like one more show away from having 4 months, right?
Of season 2.
Of season two. Right. So speaking of which, how are we going to do this, guys? Are we going to just have like 3 seasons a year and just say like every 16th episode we just start over with number 1 and then just season 3?
I don't know.
Or should we just keep going?
I don't know.
Let me know.
Season 2 could be the one that just never ended. Season 1 had a few episodes.
Yeah.
Season 2 is just went on.
It just keeps going.
Yeah. they never.
All right.
They didn't know how to end it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. We just don't, we don't know. But anyways, we got a lot to cover tonight. We got like some topics. I mean, a lot has happened. Kenosha, gosh, I don't even have to really say more. We got to talk about protests and riots. We got to talk about Black Lives Matter and solidarity. And we got to talk about Kyle. And I'm not talking about Kyle from South Park neither. But anyways, let's talk about what's been good. Gordy.
Woo.
All right.
Keena.
Did you want to go first?
No, you go first, Chris.
All right.
Lastly.
So a couple hours ago, I got notification that a short film that I am in, is now viewable on Amazon Prime.
I just saw it. Woo!
And your name is on the credits, Shakina. Production assistant Nevis, the one we did for Winter Film, Nevis, is you can actually watch it on Amazon Prime.
Yep.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Maybe like an hour ago I saw it and I'm like, and I'm so not in the film, but just to be a part of it, it was so amazing. Like the behind the scenes was so amazing. Like, thank you.
Wow.
It
had me. It was so amazing.
It was a great. Okay, what's the name? The name is Nevis, Neves. And I did a search for it, and it didn't come in. And then I was chatting with one of the guys from the set, and he said, "Oh, do a search with your name." So I did. So I went into Amazon Prime, and I was like, "You can't be serious." So I went into Amazon Prime, and I typed in Chris Gordy, and the movie came right up, and I was like, "Holy crap!"
That's so exciting.
Wow, that is
don't start
awesome.
acting funny, Chris. Don't be like, when we speak to you or we message you, don't go to your people and stuff.
Oh, I know. Oh, I don't forget. I don't forget the people who have been with me through this whole journey.
Yes.
I don't forget family, man.
I don't know if I qualify for the whole journey. Like, I've only known you for 2 years, but it feels like longer. But still, just don't.
Everybody says that about me. I've only known you for a couple of weeks, but dang, this has been a lifetime. So, so yes. So that's my big news.
Yay! Congrats. You are a great actor, man. It was
Thank you.
I had to like. It's so funny because like doing the behind the scenes stuff, I'm watching Chris and I'm like, he's really good. I know him. I can't interrupt the thing, but no, he is amazing. I'm not saying that just because we're on this podcast.
Thank you. Diana Patton says she found it.
Awesome.
So I hope you enjoy it. It's a short film that we did locally. We did it for the Winter Film Fest here in Cincinnati. We filmed the majority of it in one day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
That's good.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah, that was a whirlwind.
It was so nice.
Awesome. Okay, Keena, what about you?
So
what's been good?
I have 2 things. So you know how I was like, I have been just wanting to get out and just act and do stuff. So I was invited to, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not even going to say who, but I was invited to, they're going to send me the script here soon. And they were talking about filming already. So I'm super excited about that because, I was like, I want to jump on a project. So I'm so excited. I don't even know what the script is yet, but I just know they are some amazing writers. I did a open casting call for them early this year, and it was so amazing. It was so great. So I can't wait to do that. That'll be coming up. And then somebody out of nowhere, so I kind of just was not pushing #Swerve as hard because it was super hot outside, right? And my shirt was black and white. So I'm not, I'm not like, I want the dollar by all means. Like, no, you know what I mean? I was just kind of focusing on the life coach stuff, and pushing that really hard. And then somebody was like, I need 8 shirts. I was like, huh? And I'm like, and it's so funny because I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I never want to be to the point where I'm like, another sale. But it was just so out of the blue and so unexpected that I'm like replying to them like, okay, I'll give you 8 shirts. Like, because just like when you're in business for yourself, you have those ebb and flows like we talked about before. But it was just like the perfect thing. Like, hey, it still matters. It's still here. And, people are not so much like just watching me, but they believe in the mission. So that was an amazing treat this week. So that's been my week.
Cool.
Wow, congratulations on that. That's awesome. Really awesome. That is.
You can tell them that those shirts were packed with tears of joy.
Oh my gosh, like so much love.
There is tears on every shirt.
I know. But no, it was just, those reminders. That's just like if you don't get a call on something for a while and then somebody calls you for a project or calls you like, hey, we need what you do. It's just like that extra push, especially when it's been like uphill. So it's just this week's been great.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Bernard?
Yeah.
So for myself, I would say that I kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to work. So things have piled up on me in a good way, you know what I'm saying? Because it could be the opposite. I could be like, scrounging for work or whatever. But I've been doing a whole lot of work with Crossroads. They've been coming to me for I think 5 projects now on one major project. And so last week, I believe it was at the end of our show, that night they rolled out the first video that I had edited for them. It was like at midnight, and I was like, "Oh snap!" Like I got a notification. There's my work. So it was really awesome to kind of see that kind of come to pass. And so I'm looking to do more work for Crossroads. It's kind of like a dream come true, and here I am living it. So
how can we see it? I want to see it.
I'll have to send you guys. I have to send you a link. Here, yeah. So, yeah. And also to the people that are watching, thank you guys for watching, giving us thumbs up. If you haven't liked the video already, please do us a favor, give us some hearts. If you are mad at the video for whatever reason, give us an angry face. But yes, Josh Pomeroy. Yeah, I mean, like tonight, we're gonna have a lot of angry faces. So yes, love you too, Josh. Also, Diana, thank you very much. And she said, I'll be placing my swerve order next week. And I promise. There it is. There it is. B+. So for those people, B+ is watching. Go ahead.
You know what I would like everyone to do?
What?
Go find us on YouTube.
Yeah.
And like it and subscribe it.
What they say? Hit the button.
Hit the notification button, hit the bell button.
Hit the bell.
So that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the like and subscribe if I'm on YouTube. This is actually now.
It'll be Keena.
It'll be delayed. Okay. So if I point over here, yes, click the right there. See, you're doing it.
There it is. She got it.
I saw you do it.
It only took
I saw you.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button.
When they, if somebody's paranoid, that would really freak them out. It's like, I see you. I see what you're doing.
You'll be like, do you?
Exactly. They'll be kind of freaked out.
No, hopefully they'll be freaked out. You don't know. Some people will be like, do you?
Do you? Do you like what you see? Huh? Mr. Man.
With some laughter.
Right. Because it's about to get heavy, like right about now.
Well, there it is.
I'm glad
we were saying
because I want to hear. We want to hear from you guys.
Yeah, we definitely want to hear.
No.
So with that being said, I do. Here's the link right here, guys. If you don't want to chime in with the comment because there's so much that you just gotta say, you have an option. You can click this link and you can just do audio only. So you don't have to show your face, but we do have an option to where you can just show just like the icon and you can just have the audio play. But we really, really, really want to hear from you. And if you're like, you know what, I don't care how I look right now at the moment, I just want to say what I got to say, then just go ahead, show your face, say what you got to say. We really want to have this deep conversation because of the tragedy that has happened, God, in the past 5 days. It's not even a freaking full week.
No.
5 days.
No. No. And it all started with Jacob Blake. So I was texting you guys kind of a lot today, in which I apologize. Sometimes in my mornings, I have some sit down time when I'm waiting on something, and I thought, you know what, this morning I'm going to go through it. I'm going to look up some different news sources because the biggest thing that keeps going through my head is, we have Jacob Blake. He was shot 7 times in the back. Ridiculous. We don't know what led up to that other than people were saying he was there to break up a fight. So the more stories I read, and I went through a heck of a lot of different sources. And maybe in the future, maybe in some court document, I'll be proved wrong. But here's what I think happened. And two, just remember, I'm coming to this conclusion after reading a bunch of different stories about it,
which I love,
and putting together the best scenario that is probably the most realistic one of how he got there. A woman at a house at that scene had called police about her boyfriend, who was on her property. She didn't want him on her property.
Okay.
So that was the domestic dispute that was happening. Now, if he was there to break up a fight, we know now that there was a domestic dispute. Chances are great if he was trying to break it up. My best guess is that he knew her and that he was trying to break up a fight.
Okay.
And once the police got there, now he's going to leave. Now, here's where it gets muddy again. When he walks around the front of the car, and we don't have to show the video. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. When he walks around the front of the car, you know he's been tased. They tased him once. Why? That's what I want to know. Why did it even escalate to that point? So what we're missing is everything from the cops arrived on the scene while he was trying to break up a fight. There starts the big gap until, boom, he's walking around his car and they're tasing him. What happened? What happened in between there that is so bad? It has to be, right?
Well,
has to be. It can't just be because he's a black man. Has to be because he did something, right?
Well, no,
that's the
logic.
Yeah, that's the gap. What I want to see is, and I get tired of not being able to see this. I get tired of, the cops, they all have their cameras. They all have their body cams. And we never get to see it until way later. No. I want to see that body cam now.
Well, here's the issue with that, the body cam. To my knowledge, from what I heard floating around, they didn't have body cams.
How? I thought that was like required.
Nope.
Across
in Kenosha, the Kenosha police did not invest in having body cams, and they said that if it wasn't for that video footage from the cell phone, there would be nothing, no evidence, no video evidence at all. So that's the reason why this is such a touchy situation, because speaking on that gap, the only thing that they have that they're saying that had happened was that he had a knife. They're saying that he definitely had a knife.
I did hear that.
On him. So again, I don't have any answers to motives, but my question would be like, okay, well, why would he have a knife out?
Well,
on him.
I want to insert this. The source that I read or whatever it was said that he said, I have a knife. It wasn't like it was discovered on him.
He admitted to it.
I have a knife, so that they knew, because that's like, that's almost like setting yourself up, like, go ahead and search me. Do you have anything? Nah. Oh, that's a knife there. So he did tell them that he had a knife. It wasn't like they just happened upon it, and it wasn't like he was wielding it like that wasn't the case. It was literally that he informed them that they had it. Even still, a knife, gunfight, you're not gonna, know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless he was like, and again, like Chris, the perspective, like what you said, kind of paints a different picture where you're like, okay, is he like the big brother or the cousin that's like, you're not about to beat my female cousin up? Were you there to try to defend her? What? But again, we don't know. Yeah. Thank God he survived. So we'll see.
Oh yeah, we're going.
But I feel like at this point, just with the environment and what we've experienced, body cams should not be optional.
No,
they shouldn't. That shouldn't be optional. We've seen what happens when they're being worn. In this day and time, who knows? With you having the option to say, "Oh, we chose not to invest the money," that shouldn't be a choice.
Right. So I mean, and then you have the questions, that we're all asking. It's like, well, what led up to him being tased?
Yep.
Like police officers don't just show up. To my knowledge, a majority of them don't show up. Let alone, how many were there that had their weapons drawn? It was like 3 of them. that had like tasers and stuff. And I'm
like
thinking, from when he starts to walk away. So I'm like, okay, I'm trying to put myself in both shoes. Well, in all shoes, from the audience to the police to Jacob. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, as the audience, if I was there watching, what would I be saying? What would I be shouting? I would probably be shouting alongside with the viewers who were saying like, hey, chill out, do what the police say, follow the instructions. This is going to end bad. The other lady was talking about, hey, my kids are in the car, whatever that she was talking about. So then I'm thinking to myself, okay, from the police perspective, if I'm hearing a woman saying my kids are in the car, I wouldn't be so as aggressive. I would like fall back a little bit, despite with everything that's kind of happening and going on. Is I don't know what this guy is doing. He somehow has been able to block off this tase as if it's like it's nothing. And then he's walking around to the front side of his car. I, from the police perspective, would be like, okay, I got to take this guy down. Shoot him. That may not be my first option. My first option is to get this guy down, to the ground, whether I tackle him or whatever I got to do. I feel like as a cop, you should be trained hand-to-hand combat anyways, right? Like you're like your go-to shouldn't be, oh, I got to get my gun out. Like, come on, like you're a cop. You have special training. Jiu-jitsu or judo.
You know what though? Okay, so what is going on in a mindset to make someone do that? Because what you just said is correct. My first inclination is not going to be, well, I better shoot him. No, but for some reason, when it's a black person, that is what goes through their mind. It's this automatic thing. There's that mindset. There is the product of the systemic racism that we've been talking about. Therein lies your product. It's unconsciously racist. They don't even know it.
Right.
That's how bad it is. Doesn't even know it. We all know. I said this backstage. I'll say it here. If he wasn't black, would he have been shot? No. They would have tackled him. They would have fought him. Things would have happened. Yes. Shot 7 times? No.
Yeah. That to me was like red flags when he was able to grab his shirt.
Yep.
I feel like I hear it in football.
Grab
They
his
say
arms, obviously.
Yeah. It's like, to me, I'm like, if in football, what did they say? They say if you're able to grab a person's shirt, you should be able to tackle them.
Take them down. Exactly.
If you touch a ball, you should be able to snatch it. Like there's just no excuse for you to be that close.
Actually, I like that because aren't you called foul when you go grabbing at somebody's shirt to try to pull them down?
Yep. Yeah. I feel like that. I feel like what we've witnessed is unnecessary roughness. Like there's going to be roughness in policing, but this was completely unnecessary. And just like in sports, you get hit with fouls. And in the case of the severity of this type of cases that we're seeing over and over again, this is not a timeout. You go sit on a bench with pay.
No.
This calls for you to give up your gun, your badge immediately, and you're going to be sitting timeout in like a holding cell, until we find out some more information, but not just letting you loose as if like it's another day walking the park.
But I'm gonna say this too. This is what's interesting. We were talking about people with CCWs. You have to have a good explanation and a good reason for why you shot somebody, right? And for you even defending your home, if the person has their back to you or they're attempting to leave, that is not a viable excuse or reason for shooting and injuring someone, because it's they were leaving, they were trying to exit the premises.
Here's another thing. Go ahead.
Of somebody, his back is to you. You have the advantage with someone's back to you. It's a quick one of these to the back of your head.
They should have been able to take him down. Yeah.
So his back to you.
It was
There's no excuse for that. There's
You're
no
100% correct. It was a no-brainer how to take somebody like that down. And B plus says, don't know if y'all saw this, UK cops disarm man wielding a machete. Yeah, they did. Yeah, I saw that. You know, because it can be done.
right.
Because you can disarm somebody. Especially, they don't have a gun on them. A knife.
Nope.
Okay, the guy in the UK had a machete. All right? Okay, this pencil is probably about as long as maybe a knife. All right? It would take maybe 4 of these pencils to make up a machete. They still disarmed him.
Right.
You can't tell me that you can't disarm a man. Or if that's what you are telling me, you need to go back to training, son.
I was just gonna say that the training.
Yeah.
See, the thing to me, like you were talking about, necessary roughness and all of this. Chris, I really believe it goes back to what you said, that there's this underlying tension that's always been there. And it's heightened now because you have people, like we talked about on previous episodes, you have people that are like, I'm not taking it anymore. So where before an officer would proceed with caution, now it's like high alert, high alert, high alert, high alert. So it's shooting and asking questions later. Mm-hmm. And we've seen what this looks like it's being perpetuated over and over and over. And now you have a situation like this to where you can't justify grabbing a man's shirt and hitting him 7 times. He poses no threat to you. So now you have this big mess, like we were saying backstage. You've messed yourself again. There's no cleanup for this. You have witnesses. Yeah. And then there's no, like you said, Bernard, there's no tap on you. There's no slap on the wrist. There's no conversation. There's nothing by means that should say, oh, well, let's discuss this. Let's have a meeting of the things. No. Jail time, whatever the name of the to be changed to Jacob's name, and then we move on with real life because it's the same.
Right. So let me play devil's advocate to 2 points because I want to have a balanced conversation so we can hear these various thoughts. I've heard people say, well, Jacob wouldn't be in the situation had he just simply obeyed. Yes, we got to go there because we got to have this conversation.
No, because I have already talked about why that happened to him. You know what? If a white guy had done the exact same thing,
they would have got him a bottle of water.
No. I don't accept that.
Listen. But listen, beyond excuse, is it a factual statement?
That he should have listened? Okay, my question is...
not that he shouldn't have listened, but had he just said to the police officers when they showed up, you know what? This is what's happening. I'm going to stand off to the side. I try to break up this fight, and whatever y'all got to do, y'all got to do.
We don't know that he didn't. There's no proof.
But we don't know what happened.
Well, let me add a little another fact to this conversation. To my knowledge, from what I've heard, they were saying that once they found out who he was, they realized that he had outstanding warrants for his arrest.
Why is that always the thing?
So, no. They're not saying that this is the reason to justify it. They're saying that this is the reason why they possibly made a move on him to arrest him, not because of the fights or anything that happened there. It was because they found out who he was and they were like, oh, this guy has warrants for his arrest. Excuse me, Jacob, but you got to come with us. We're taking you.
I see what you're saying, but in the end, nobody can look at me and justify
7 shots.
What they ended up doing.
Right.
No, I know what you're getting at. I know what you're getting at.
I know what you're saying too, and I agree. There's no justification for those 7 bullet holes at all. None at all. But if we had some miraculous way, and we probably do have a miraculous way, but if we were able to ask him, would you do it all over again the same way for those 7 bullet holes? Do you think that he would change anything that he had did, or do you think that he would do it all over again for those 7 bullet holes?
I think he would probably do it differently.
Okay.
I think he would do it differently, just hoping that maybe if he did it in a different way, hopefully they wouldn't shoot him. Now, who's to say they're not going to do anything else?
That's true.
Didn't they just put a knee on a guy's neck in Minnesota? Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They didn't use a gun there, did they?
Nope.
They didn't need a gun to kill him.
Nope.
So
I feel like the reason why I responded the way I did when they said, "Oh, well, they were after him because he had warrants." I feel like that always comes up in some type of way to try to, like, we're not saying this, but because this is true, kind of okay. Like, I just always insist somewhere when something happens, when there's some type of brutality, police brutality, it's like it's always brought up or inserted somewhere to kind of like try to soften the blow or make it seem as if they were justified in some way. Like, okay, right. If he had warrants, okay, we're dealing with. Don't insert that or even bring that as part of the conversation. What we're talking about is why this man was grabbed by the back of his shirt and shot 7 times. Because him having warrants still does not merit that response. So I'm not saying I don't care about his warrants. I'm saying don't bring it up to try to overshadow or try to, in a low-key way, try to justify what happened. I don't care how many warrants he had. Why did you grab this man's shirt and shoot him 7 times? Let's talk about what the matter is. It's still always like that, just like that undercurrent of, oh, well, maybe he was kind of a bad guy, so this isn't so bad. No.
And let's say he did. Let's say he did decide to, all right, I'm going to lay down. I'm going to lay down on the ground. This is what they wanted. Now, how many times have we seen footage of that not working either?
I think to ask, no. I think to ask, would he do it again? I think it's an obvious, like, no, I would let this person fight their own battle. You know what I mean? Because if he was going there to try to defend someone else, obviously if the outcome is him being paralyzed and being shot and the trauma and everything else that goes along with this, obviously he would say no. You know what I mean? But
and let's not forget the horrifying fact that he was shot in front of his children.
That
that. And see, that goes back to my point again. Putting yourself in a police officer's shoes, it's like if you're hearing somebody talking about there's kids on the premises, something should go off in your mind to where it's like, okay, we got 3 cops. Hey, one cop takes care of this, another cop, go find out what this person's talking about. You know, like it doesn't make any sense for us to all still focus on this one individual and I hear somebody shouting over and over and over again, there's kids on the premises. You know, but you have that one idiot cop who decides to, I don't know, go trigger happy and shoot this guy. It's and here we are, you know, Kenosha riots and protests and stuff.
Yep.
What's interesting is, and I want to insert this, what's interesting is that your president decided to respond to this quickly, but there's massive fires in California with no coverage and no interaction. So I'm wondering how you choose which is traumatic enough or what makes you feel like, you know, this deserves a response over something else. And it's not a response to defend the people, but to defend the police. So you know what I mean? It's just a whole, I can't even say, I really felt like I was about to say, it's a whole crap show. That's what it is.
Right.
Before the end of this show, I will say what you have all been wanting to say.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna,
that this is a cluster.
But I won't go that far. But I won't tell you when I'm going to say it. So it'll be total surprise.
We'll be
total surprise. Absolute total surprise.
It's all a mess. It's all a mess.
It is. It definitely is. And to me, I tried to be, again, I try to hear as many facts as possible. before I respond. That's the reason why I haven't really said anything on Facebook or Twitter about it, because I'm like, you know what, I have to be slower to speak, and God gave me 2 ears so I can listen twice as long. Because sometimes I feel that, you know, people get it wrong, you know, and I've seen it happen when people try to attach, like 2 months ago, there was a kid who got killed in Indianapolis, I believe, who was gunned down by the police, and come find out that he was a bad guy. He was a bad dude, you know.
I remember that he live streamed himself, didn't he?
Yeah.
I watched that.
Yeah, he live streamed himself.
I remember.
But before that all went down, people were trying to be like, Black Lives Matter, you know, his life mattered. And I'm like, okay, yeah, his life mattered. Yeah, Black lives do matter. But you know what? But in this case right here, when you have a kid who's running away and then turn around to fire the police officers, you kind of deserve to be killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what happened was, huh?
I'm not gonna say like deserve to be killed.
You deserve it. You earned them bullets. You earned them.
It's a different situation for sure. I'm not gonna say somebody.
If you're trying to kill somebody, then you have to expect that might actually happen to you instead.
I mean, that's why I said the situation is different. It's like, oh, I'm black on a Tuesday. No, it was totally different. But you know, Bernard just go for the jerk, like, oh, he deserved it. Like, dang.
Have you been hanging out? Have you been hanging out at my house on Tuesdays?
Taco Tuesdays? No, I haven't. I've been missing out.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I think when you have like that type of mob mentality of Black Lives Matter movement that's trying to attach themselves to these type of circumstances without having all the facts, can lead to dangerous situations like Kenosha's protests and riots. You know, like Kenosha is suffering right now, and to me, I think it's unfortunate, because it's like. You got these riots that are happening at night. Like, let me make this clear. Riots are happening at night because it's easier for you to do your dirt at night. And plus the fires look a lot sexier burning in the night sky. And then during the day, you have your peaceful, you have your peaceful protesters during the day. The light shining is all glorious, but that's not sexy though. You know what I'm saying? Nope. So the news is not going to really.
Because that's what they think about Bernard. What's sexier?
Yeah, sex sells.
All the bad stuff happens at night. God. When I was a kid, I was in high school. There was an old man who told me one time a little piece of advice. He says, just remember, nothing good happens outside of your house after 1 a.m. He's right. Every time I got in trouble, it was usually right after midnight in that little time span.
Until we're backstage. I heard another saying that wasn't so pleasant. I'll wait until we're backstage.
Is that when they say the only thing that's open after 9 o'clock is?
And there's Bernard. Never mind. I don't have to say.
There's Bernard.
Yeah.
But you said it though, Keena. Keena, you said it. You said it loud enough that I heard you. I
had an innocent little story.
I did not say it at all.
I had an innocent little story of what an old man said to me once. And you soiled it.
Had to pervert and take everything. Yeah, I did not say it.
You soiled it.
I said what you thought. I said what you thought. I spoke on your behalf.
I said I was going to say. No, you spoke for yourself.
No, you being fake right now, Keena. You need to keep it real.
Is something I never am saying. I do.
Don't save yourself.
Thank you.
Don't save
my words.
Don't save yourself for backstage.
All you think about me is this hair.
Save yourself backstage. you can't because backstage when he'll still have the audio running.
That's true. Unless I go off if I end the broadcast.
Yeah.
But no, you're definitely right. You're both right. You know that it's like in the evening times when it's dark, typically the peaceful protesters are at home sleep or they're praying, hoping that nobody breaks into their home or their establishments because the hoodlums are out. You know what I'm saying? Like the people who are doing the rioting, they're not out there during the daytime. They're not.
I mean, I hate to break this to you, but I don't think they're at home praying.
They're probably at home sleeping.
Maybe eating a sandwich, getting ready for tomorrow, but yeah, I don't.
But yeah, but I mean, but that's what's happening, and then you have the far right RNC people talking about that this is the America that, and it's like, listen, first of all, let's get this straight. You guys are still in office, so this is your America that's happening.
It's your show. You know what, President? This is your shit show right here. You're the one that made it.
This is what happens on your watch. Let's be clear, right?
Please,
you can't look at me and say, you know, if Biden gets elected, we're gonna have riots. What do you mean? Yeah, we got him right now.
Right?
You POS? Come on! You can't even see what's happening. Jesus Christ! This is your America, dude. You made it.
Yeah. It's crazy. It definitely doesn't make any sense. The RNC, God bless their hearts, they're doing the best that they can.
No,
but every time,
really,
they're doing the best they can.
What?
Yeah,
they're doing the best they can to pander to their audience and to lie about really what's happening.
They're doing the best they can for people who can't get their head out of their butts. That's how good they're doing.
Right. That's what I was like, I missed that. The best.
Their head is so far up their rectum, they can't see or hear anything. And this is the result. This is the America that happens when we have people who are in charge who can't see or hear anything because their heads are slammed firmly up their rectum.
But there's good people on both sides.
Okay, Trump.
All right.
Oh my gosh. But yes.
You know what's so funny about people saying that? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, what's so funny?
When you say, "Oh, well, there's good people on both sides," it's like when you represent something, you're saying, "I represent everything that this stands for." You can't make the distinction like, "Oh, well, yeah, I'm claiming this set, right? But I don't like everything they do." No, you're saying that what they've done, what they're doing, and what they may do in the future, you're okay with.
Yep.
So, I leave it like that. It speaks for itself.
It's like the person who says, "Well, I voted for Trump. I like him." Now, maybe not everything he says I agree with. No, you voted for him. That means you like what he does.
I blame
everything though.
You like what he used to do. You like what he's doing now, and I bet you're gonna love what he's gonna do in the future. Sorry, Bernard, didn't mean to put at you. I'm actually pointing out the door over there. There's a doorway, and I pointed out the door.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, when you make a commitment like that, you're saying, "I'm down with whatever you do next," and I'm down with you and what you're doing.
Yeah, you take it or you do not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not kind of a Republican. You're not kind of a Democrat. You're not kind of independent. No.
I'm kind of pregnant.
Are you?
No.
That's not
you
true.
are or you are not.
Exactly.
Well, kind of. What?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Kind of black. How about that? Like, come on. It's not possible.
Yeah, it's not. But yeah, these protests, I know it's all good. I was just saying like that. I think that the protest, the peaceful protesting, we need more of that. It's heartbreaking to see the mother get up there and say that, that her son would not stand for this to be done in his name, because they jumped the gun. The rioters jumped the gun and looked at an opportunity, another chance to be able to go out there and to be like, let's go out there and let's tear some stuff up, And I think that that's what we're starting to see a lot more of. It's not really, in my opinion, because I don't think that it's Black Lives Matter. Though I feel that they have a responsibility to be able to stand up and say that this is not what we represent. But I'm tired of seeing people pin this on this is Black Lives Matter, guys. This is them at it again. And if we don't do anything about this terrorist group, then we're gonna have a dim future. I like the term Black Lives Matter because I agree with it, but I do not agree with the organization.
There we go.
Is it? And now I asked this because you and I talked a little bit about this backstage. Is it the organization itself that you disagree with, or do you disagree with how things have turned that almost really doesn't have anything to do with the original organization?
Well, it's kind of just like how we just said before with Trump. It's like if you vote for Trump, then you agree with everything that he is and everything that he's going to do in the future. And now I'm starting to have Black Lives Matter regrets. Because it's like I don't like what it has started to become and what it's becoming. I don't like what it is right now. Like it's hijacked. It's either hijacked or they don't have a strong enough leadership in place to be able to properly lead this organization in a moral way.
I want to insert this. The more that I'm finding out about the mission and intention of what Black Lives Matter is founded on, I feel as if its presence has been more opportunistic than anything, because what everybody is saying and they picked up on, and I think we've all been guilty of that, like, oh, Black Lives Matter, nobody did the research to see what it meant or stood for or what its intention was. We looked at the message and we were like, yes, that's true, but it seems the more that things are either being revealed or people are doing more research, it seems that the two are completely separate.
They are.
Like Black Lives Matter, or to be a effort and a movement for saying that, stop targeting this group of people, stop targeting, these people and killing them and the brutality. But part of this thing seems something totally different, and there's a lot of people that don't know that. So you're walking around saying Black Lives Matter because you believe in what they're saying, but people are not clear on who they are and what they represent and what they stand for. And so now you're representing or you're shouting or you're perpetuating something that you're not well educated or well versed on. And I think that to some extent, they're counting on that. Keep screaming Black Lives Matter, and you don't know what you're really standing behind and what you're standing for. And to me was very offensive. It's like be 100 in everything that you are and what you're standing for and what this really means, so that then we as the public can make an educated decision to say, oh yeah, well, I am completely with that. It seems like, this is what we're going to say, but behind it, there's all this other stuff. And I just didn't appreciate that.
And then they just jacked like a positive statement that it's like, okay, what else can you say? You can't be like, I mean, you can come up with something else, but it's like Black Lives Matter is so sexy. You know what I'm saying? That's
sexy tonight. Like,
well, but okay, but you know what? No. That gets me to something that I was just thinking of.
What's that?
It's like, okay, well, let's, there's probably a lot of, we're going to yell Black Lives Matter because that makes sense. And that makes sense in the context of what we are trying to do right here, right now. Right?
Right.
So, but if we took just that line, if we took those 3 words out of it, then what would you replace them with? Take those 3 words out, replace them with however many you want, but replace them. What would you replace them with?
Okay, I mean, it's so perfect. It's hard, and it's like you would almost be considered a knockoff.
I mean, could you say something like, "Stop killing us"? You know.
See, B plus knows what we're talking about. Love Black Lives Matter, the sentiment, but I don't rock with the organization. And I feel like we're kind of talking around it without really saying what it is. And so I think if we're going to address it, we need to talk about what it is that some people may not agree with. For me, there was somebody had put up a post, and then there was someone else that I follow that they were like, you all don't know what this organization really stands for. And some of the things that I heard, and some of the things that I think I tried to go and read it for myself. And I think I talked to Bernard, I think it was you, that where it was something, the mission statement, where it seems to be a contradiction for the very lives that they're supposed to be fighting for, with something to the effect that they're not pro like men or pro, fathers in the home and things like that. But it's like, how, if this is your stance, even if that's not the complete thought, how can that be something that you believe or would say or would include in your mission statement, but then on the other end be fighting for these lives that you don't really feel are valuable or necessary within the family dynamic? And so for me, that's where it became like a huge contradiction, to where I'm not, I'm like, how are you fighting for a demographic of people that you really don't seem to value that much, or you really seem as if you're an opponent of? The two, I didn't find the connect for myself. And so that's why I said, to say Black Lives Matter and then this be like the undertone seems a little opportunistic, and it's not something that I can believe in or agree with the organization.
Right. And then it's like when you have like those.
Oh, somebody says Black instead of Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. She says, "Stop killing blacks." SKB.
But I'm sorry, you were saying.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. No, what were you saying, Bernard?
No, I was just saying that I've heard people speak against the organization or even just against the statement, saying that if Black Lives Matter, then is that like all Black Lives Matter, or is that only for when blacks are killed by police officers? Right. Because it starts way. I mean, we have a bigger problem than just the police officers to worry about. Like, I've heard somebody make this statement today, and I agree wholeheartedly. They said that their chances of being killed by the police versus being killed by someone that looks like them, they said somebody looks like them, the chances are higher and greater than being killed by the police. Because of the thing of people say, I hate, black on black crime is crime. But it's like, okay, when you look at it from just not talking about statistics, but talking about the chances and the probabilities of you growing up in a certain type of situation or going to a particular type of neighborhood, and you are a person of color and you're black, your chances are a lot higher being killed by someone who looks like you than somebody who is a cop. So they're looking at Black Lives Matter saying, okay, well, shouldn't you guys be also bringing this underneath the umbrella along with whatever else that you guys have on your agenda? But
like, let Black Lives Matter all the time, not just when someone's life is taken.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
If we're going to do that, use Black Lives Matter as, we have that, where we're like, okay, injustice, but then do that to bring awareness to the fact that we need, like you said, solidarity and strength within the Black community itself. So if Black Lives Matter, let's be advocates for, reversing poverty. Let's be advocates for education. Let's be advocates for jobs. Let's be advocates. Like, if we're going to do it, do it. Isolated is one thing.
Right. Yeah. And I think like that has put the damper on the organization for me personally. That's why, like, that's another reason why I don't really rock, the BLM organization. But it's like, I do love the idea that, yeah, Black lives do matter. It's like, we don't want more. As Michael Shea says, we just matter. Just matters. We don't want extra. We don't want to be above anybody. We just want to be equal. We just want to matters. Matters. So to me, Black Lives Matter needs to be revamped, you know, and they need better leadership, you know, because I'm not liking the whole let's defund the police rhetoric. Like that to me is stupid. I mean, I just call it what it is. It's
I
because
think
it's like
defunding the police. They should actually they needed to word that differently, because when they say
they do.
defund the police, they don't actually mean let's get rid of the police force. What
Right.
they're meaning is can we stop militarize? Can we stop putting all these funds into militarizing the police, and maybe put some of those funds, instead of doing that, into other things like education,
Yeah.
into public improvement, into infrastructure? Isn't there another way that we can use these funds? That's like, I think when people see the defund the police, they take that for like, well, they must mean
Like,
word for word. It's true. Like they want to get rid of the police force. No. Can we
that's
just
stupid.
demilitarize the police? What was it? What was it? I saw somebody write online recently. The police, the police used to protect and serve, but they don't anymore. All they do is enforce the laws, and that's true.
Yep.
And that's because they're all, man, it's way too militarized. So that's what they're meaning when they say defund the police. Let's just take some of those funds, and instead of throwing at buying the cops more gear to kill us, why don't we use some of those funds and put them in other departments that really need them?
Yeah. And again,
Or be like,
this all
give
this
get body cams.
right. And then this also points back to, again, there not being strong enough leadership with BLM to be able to stand up and to denounce other people who are getting on camera saying, yeah, we need to have less police officers, because that's out there. Like there's people out there under the banner of Black Lives Matter yelling this stuff on megaphones. The news is capturing it. And of course they're using it as propaganda, twisting it, and people are just like buying into it and stuff. And it's like, to me, I'm like, therein lies the problem. Like we're almost like fighting against the wind with we're not focused. We're just punching the air. It's like we have all this energy, all this frustration, and we don't have a focused target. We feel like, oh, it's the government. That's too broad. Oh, it's the police. That's too broad. You got to like really zero in and come in with the plan. And you have to come in with spokespeople. Like you literally have to have those things in order to work in this government. You're not going to come as we the people and that's it. It's just not going to happen because the table's not big enough for everybody to have a seat at. Teresa says, I was on my job for 22 years. I was constantly harassed by white men. When I reported my incidents with evidence, I got in trouble. I know my life didn't matter. Wow. So my question is to you, do you think that was black and being a woman, or just being a woman, period? Because I've heard the nightmare stories from just women in general. Another strike to be black, a black woman.
Yeah, my wife, who's a director of an art center, she has been a director of other sites in Illinois when we worked for historic sites. And there were a couple of times, she doesn't have that now, but I mean, there were a couple of times in Illinois when that was a problem because she was a woman in charge. And that doesn't sit right with a lot of people all the time.
Right.
So that was something that I know she's had to battle. And I mean, well, I'm sure, yeah. And so Teresa, I'm sorry. She's a black woman.
It's like a double whammy. Yep.
Yeah. So to that statement, to those facts, I question why people feel that there's no racism in America, but it's like there's clearly sexism. If sexism exists, then how in the world do you believe for a hot second that racism just doesn't exist in America? We're not saying America's racist.
I have an answer.
Go ahead.
My answer is is that it doesn't exist until it happens to them. So my proof, I back that up with this. When the Karens were like their writing, take them, it was like it's because I'm white. Winning in white, right? So we have not until it's personal for some people that it doesn't become a thing. Whereas you have black people who have been living with this reality for as long as we've been black, which is all our lives, right? It's always been a thing. Things don't seem to matter to people until it's in their front yard or their backyard. So they know it's there, but as long as it's not causing them, discomfort, then I'm just gonna, I see it, and well, it doesn't impact me. They know it. Just like sexism. Come on. If we look at women are still paid less than men. We know that. It's not that it doesn't exist. It's just until it touches you, it doesn't mean anything to you.
That's true.
It doesn't, and it's what it is. People are selfish. So if it's not an issue for me, then why should I make it an issue at all? But when they feel like their rights are violated, then that's when you get people, huffing and puffing and upset, and now it's a thing.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the reason why you have sports people who are sitting out on their games.
Yeah.
Now, I found it funny. I saw an article they was talking about yesterday. It was 4 years to the day that Colin Kaepernick took the knee, and they had an outrage about that. But it's like here we now have whole teams, NBAs, NHLs, and NFLs not taking a knee, not showing up to play. That's a statement that they're trying to say, like we want this to affect you by not showing up. It's like, okay, you're not black, you will never understand what it's like to be black, but you know how you love your sports. So we're just going to to where you can kind of understand what it is like to kind of feel the pain. Like that's the purpose behind it. And I thought I would never see it where they're like just not showing up to play. I can see taking a knee, but not showing up to play, that's a huge statement. And I think that they owe Colin Kaepernick an apology.
Mm-hmm. And it needs to have some zeros, many zeros and a few commas.
Yes. Mess up some commas.
I don't want your sorry. They took this man's career. They took come on. No.
Yeah.
Tried to just do him in for life.
Right.
No.
Right. And I also need 45. And I need 45 to call all of those sports people SOBs. All of them. No. And that they need to all jump on whatever ships and go back to where they came from if they don't like America.
No.
Because I will never forget that.
He's sorry when he quietly leaves office. That's the only apology.
Oh, he's not going to quietly
That's
leave.
The only apology.
There is, and he's going to leave, ladies and gentlemen, but it's not going to be quietly. He will go kicking and screaming like the little toddler of a child he is. Oh, I know he'll leave.
Hey,
that's why I refer to him as former President Trump.
Wow. Chris really has a lot of confidence. Chris has a lot of confidence in that.
I'm all for it. Speak it.
You keep throwing it out in the universe. It's former President Trump. Just keep saying it. Say it out loud. Everybody in your houses right now, just say it out loud. Former President Trump.
Former President Trump.
And I mean, it's gonna feel good when you do it. You feel good doing it. Give it a try. And the more you do it, the more you're throwing it out in the universe and doing everyone a big favor.
Except for his supporters.
Except for his supporters.
with
running around with their Confederate flags and their ARs and their.
But you know what I am going to do though?
What you gonna
do?
Say,
oh gosh.
Because
why? What are you gonna do?
He's about to be petty. It's 10:04.
You already know I'm about to be petty. You already know I'm about to be petty.
No, I didn't even hear music.
What I plan on doing, what I plan on doing is buying me a MAGA hat because it actually makes sense now. Because I want America to be great again.
Oh, after he leaves?
No, while he's in office, America needs to be great again. Like he's actually made that a factual statement now.
No, I still can't do it. I can't do it.
I'm a rock one. I'm a rock one to the polls, and then I'm a vote for Joe.
My favorite poster so far that I've seen. My favorite poster I've seen is they took the word trash and spelled it TR45H.
Oh.
So when you see it,
wow,
you automatically pronounce trash, but there's 4-5 in there.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And I thought that is
what
perfect.
About the one that we saw where it made?
Oh yeah, the 45
Remember
looks
the
like
one
a
that
big
we saw?
sign.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That's nice.
Oh,
That's a nice one. I like it.
Super petty.
Yeah.
Super petty.
I like it when people get creative like that.
No, they're no more petty than what we've been on this show with shirts and things.
That's right.
Yes.
That's
I
right.
love it.
We're
I
not
love
petty
it.
on this show. Far from it.
No, we have class. When they go high, we go
sure
low.
As hell do. We are built with class.
Passive aggressively. Okay, so
my pores are oozing with class, ladies and gentlemen. Oozing.
Can we like scrape a layer of that ooze off and sell it in little jars?
No. Oh my God, there's a really bad band name in there somewhere. Scraping ooze. I don't know.
Oh God.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to ooze?
Ugh, gross.
That works.
Yeah, like
yeah. In a really nasty way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Disgusting.
So we spoke about this whole Kenosha. Ooh, I said Kenosha as if that was like a name, like some girl's name, like Kenosha. Who's Kenosha?
Her last name is Wisconsin. Yeah. It's Kenosha, Wisconsin. She's really nice.
Yeah, Kenosha. She is, but right now she's. I don't want to go
at the local rec. She's great. Yeah.
Right. But we have this guy we gotta talk about. Kyle. Yeah, Kyle. Blah 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 blah.
Kyle, what's his face?
Yeah. So what Kyle did in a nutshell was he shot a guy in the head. Yep. Tried to run from that incident. Going down the street, he gets chased by a mob.
Yep.
And he trips and falls. The mob starts to, wants to get on top of him and wants to pound him.
As they should. Yes.
And he turns around. He shoots point blank, hits one person, kills them, shoots into the crowd. One guy's hitting the arm prior to this, and he walks all the way down to the police. The police officers drive right past him.
Yep.
He's walking down with his hands up. He's basically saying, showing a sign of surrender. That hey, I have a gun on me, AK at that. Walking to the police officers, and the police officers go right past them. Mind you, once they find out that he was the one that had committed these murders, they didn't get him to the next morning.
Yep.
So he didn't even turn himself in. He felt justified.
You realize that earlier in the night, he had actually tweeted to the Kenosha police force telling them that he and his buddies are ready to come up and help. And actually, some officer responded back on Twitter, how many are coming and what do you have?
Wow.
That was
And
on
it's still
Twitter.
up? It's
That was
still
on
up?
Twitter.
Wow.
And then two, there is footage of the police, a police car stopping near him and giving him water,
Yep. And talking. I mean, like chatting it
talking
up.
to him. Yep,
This
talking
was
to some
Trump?
underage kid with an assault rifle who's ready to go out and shoot your citizens. Boy, I bet he's parched. Let's get him a
Yes.
bottle of water.
Yeah.
Wait, they were talking to him and gave him a bottle of water
Yep.
after.
No,
Yeah.
before.
This is
Oh, okay.
before.
This
This
is
is before. Now that's the reason why he was able to walk past the police officers
Right,
and they
because
just rolled past him
right.
because he already buddied up with them. Now it wasn't just him, but of course, like Chris said, that there were many of them that came into town to protect a gas station and to protect a used car lot, as they should. I feel that if you have it within your heart to protect property, then you should do so. But what had led up to him being away from his crew and shooting somebody in the head, and then later on, less than 2 minutes later, killing another individual and shooting and hitting other people, baffles me.
That's where I'm going to differ with you a little bit. I
Okay.
don't think there should have been a crew there to begin with. Because if you have a bunch of people with guns, I know we were talking about, heck, the police probably need to go back and be retrained, but these yahoos haven't even had any training. I don't even know if they've been trained to hold their rifles correctly. I do not want them out in the public
That's
Right.
holding their rifles up, not even at a safe, but holding their rifles up, ready to shoot and kill. Man, if that was my neighborhood, I tell you, those guys would scare the absolute living crap out of me before any of the protesters would. A bunch of guys standing there with their guns, and I don't know who they are. Do they even know how to use them correctly? Obviously they don't, because they're holding them up. They're ready to shoot me right now. I'd be a heck of a lot more scared of them than I would of anybody else.
Well, see,
And now I know that I would have had a reason, because one of them ended up shooting two people and killing them. I would have been justified in my fear.
The
Well, see,
scariest thing is that
go
the
ahead.
police allowed it. That's what's scarier.
Yeah.
Well, no, not just. I was gonna say not just the police, but the Constitution has allowed this to happen. The Constitution allows you to be able to bear arms. Anybody has the right to go and get an AK, to go get these assault rifles. Not just getting a handgun. We're just talking about getting stuff like military type gear. You have that right, and you have that right to protect your property.
At the same time, you also
But
have
to drive 15, what did you say? He drove 15 miles to
Yes.
something that's not even his?
At the same time,
wouldn't-
the Constitution also gives you human rights, and those human rights allow me to live in a world where I am not afraid to walk outside because a bunch of you yahoos are standing out there with guns pointing at me.
But that's why I say it goes back to a few things. He's 17.
Yes.
Number one.
You had to
This
get
is
that
not
gun.
even for real. Like, if we're gonna be for real, this is not even your fight. You came from all out somewhere else, jumping in somebody else's stuff. Okay,
Right.
that the police were like, "Oh, you're coming with weapons." Like, they would have a whole fit if a citizen jumped into something that had nothing to do with them and they were trying to detain someone. But you welcome people with assault rifles to join you in what you were trained to do. Shame on all. He should have never been there.
And because it's like they deputized them, they basically gave them the validation that they needed.
No.
And you know
So the
what?
police are in trouble for that, I believe.
And you know what? When people like that drive a distance with their guns and they're ready to kill, they came up there with the express interest to start a fight and to kill somebody.
Well, no,
they didn't come up there to
they
protect
have him. They have him on camera saying that though.
Yeah.
They have him on camera saying like, "Hey, do you know the type of bullets that you're using?" He's like, "These are lethal. Like we have lethal ammunition in here, and we're ready."
He was also wearing rubber gloves.
Oh, so he was gonna shoot him.
Why would you wear rubber gloves when you're using a weapon unless you're using it to kill someone with?
And
you don't
leave
want
and go home and
fingerprints.
have a bowl of cereal? That makes no sense. That's the type of evil I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's among us. And then you allow access. Like you were saying, people have the right to bear arms. I'm not so much against that, but there needs to be like, it just seems to be so easy and so accessible to anyone. Like, who put this? Who did he get the assault rifle from? You're 17.
His mama and his daddy need to be front
This
and
is
center.
what I'm saying. Who put it in his hand? Who? Because
since he was a child.
Okay.
Since he was a child, because there's a picture of him out there, of him holding some type of like militarized weapon, like that will take you out, and he has to be no more than like 9 years old, or younger than that.
But I mean, you've got a point. It goes down to the parents. I was raised in an extraordinarily rural area where I was raised with guns all my life. We had all kinds of rifles and shotguns, nothing assault rifle-esque, because let's face it, we weren't trying to militarize ourselves. They were all hunting things. So I grew up with hunters. I grew up knowing how to handle rifles and shotguns and pistols and bows. In fact, I ended up really enjoying how to use a bow more than anything else. But do you see me going anywhere with an AR or an AK? No, you don't. No, I was raised a little bit better than that. I was raised to know that, gosh, if this gun would kill that animal that I just shot, I'll bet you it would also do it to a human. I might not want to do that.
But he wanted to.
I was raised without a soul. There could also be that.
One brain cell, so you're not.
Yeah, that's true.
You're not wicked. You're not. You know. There you go.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen to this kid. He's been charged with 2 murders.
Yep.
So it's like, good for Kenosha on that.
They got one good thing.
But there also needs to be something. There needs to be some type of consequence for the officers or whoever deputizing people and letting them just feel like they had some measure of power or justification to do whatever they wanted to do. That it should be there.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing too. I feel that there needs to be something to stop the rioting and rioters, because they're gonna come. It's gonna happen, folks. Like, no matter where you are, you're gonna have some opportunist knuckleheads out there who are gonna come out at night, who's gonna say, now it's time for us to really show what we can do and what we can get and what we can burn down. They're itching already to do it, and this is their excuse. With that being said, what can the police do besides what they're doing now, which is waiting to respond? Because I'm kind of tired of the police responding. Me personally, I want to see some whoopings being dealt. Like, I'm ready to see some people get. Man, I'm ready for some protests. I'm not protesters, but rioters and looters. I'm ready for them to get the whoopings and beatings that they deserve. Because it's like you said, Chris, nothing's happening at 10 at night, 1 at night. We don't have to wait till 1. Nothing's good happening at 10 o'clock on the streets at night. Protest in the morning time when we can see your beautiful, wonderful, smiling faces. Other than that, you are making. Yeah, it's like
that would actually be a great commercial for curfew. Well, why do you have a curfew? Because
that's what
I can't see your face when it's dark outside, unless I had a flashlight. I want to see your bright, shiny, smiling face in the daylight. Come on, kids!
Protest. Do it the right way. I mean,
I can't read your sign at night. It's too dark.
You are.
What signs? What signs? If anything, they're busy burning stuff.
Well, you can't have a sign when you're burning things.
Yeah. So if anything, again, they need to. I just wish it was a way that the police can like just dish out butt whoopings. Like, and I understand that it's not American thing to say, but don't you realize?
Actually, on the contrary,
no, the American thing is never mind. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, on the contrary, the American way is to whoop anything for any reason. So,
Well, let's
or
get
just shoot it. Or just shoot it.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily go. I wouldn't want to say go that far, shooting them and
You
to
said
kill
the
them.
American way.
But listen,
what
well,
the cops
I
want to
did say the
do.
American way. But listen, let's do it. Let's do it the Singapore way. How about that? Let's just leave America and let's do it the Singapore way, and let's just start publicly caning people publicly. Like I want to see butt cheeks in public.
Like
just
the
getting
cop, like the cop that shot the guy in the back. Can I watch him?
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. Yes, that's what America needs right now. America needs just to start caning the hell out of people.
So when former President Trump on his last day, now that he's been indicted on all these charges while he's president, you do realize that as soon as he's not president, all those charges can come through fruition. So I do get an opportunity to watch them cane the bare ass of former President Trump.
What is
Yes.
happening in live
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
First of all, no.
Keena
don't
said it's
want cheeks. No, Keena did not. Keena is saying, I don't want to see cheeks. Okay. Do that in the back somewhere. Okay. Number two, I don't think you have to listen. The people that will even subject themselves to this, they've been born with that type of mentality. America's almost like a free for all. You can't tell me anything. You can't correct me. You can't. So that's not going to.
yes.
No, third.
Yes.
That is the American way.
No. Go ahead, Keena.
Third, if you're going to whoop Trump or whatever it is you want to do, Chris,
cane his butt.
I definitely don't want to see those cheeks, but I don't think that's going to.
You don't have to watch the channel.
That's what I'm thinking. Listen. That would actually solve a lot of problems. Because
I will have a live Twitch channel. You don't have to tune in.
No. Do one better and make it to where people have to pay to watch. That's the way that people the prison. Yeah, the prison. So the prisons can still make their money. They don't have to have people, being caged up. They can just say, you know what? For people who are out there who have a little thing about themselves that want to watch butt cheeks get caned, pay $5 or a monthly subscription, and you can watch as many cheeks get split. And I guarantee you, crime will go down.
So you do realize that what we're talking about, movies have been made about this monstrosity.
We need to do that now.
Things like Blade Runner and stuff like that. I'm just saying. Movies have been made about the subject matter of using executions and corporal punishments as entertainment.
Guys. Okay. All right. I understand the spirit behind what you're saying. I do. And I know that in other countries where they do this, that they don't have nearly as much authority that we do here. I know the spirit behind what you're saying. I do. If they were to try to implement that in America, we'd have worse than riots, is what I'm saying.
No, we won't. No, we won't.
Yes, because America is like an undisciplined child. You let the kids run like they want, all they want for as long as they have. You're not going to just be like, now we want you to subject to this. It's not going to be something that's easily done.
Too much talking. We have done too much talking.
I would hate for him to be my dad. Come here.
Listen, because listen, trust me. It would be a spike in outrage, but that spike will be short-lived because there will be consequences for them spikes. For your outrage, if like a spoiled child, you're not gonna let your child just talk to you any old type of way. You get smacked in the mouth just for back talking. So America, bringing it all back around to full circle, is a spoiled child, and like the Bible says, if you spare the rod, you spoil America.
Wait a minute, are you saying that I can slap 45's mouth as well as cane his butt?
Sign up. Sign up.
Oh my.
Yes.
I like the fact that I'm talking about smacking them in the mouth and we're talking about caning people's butts while the whole time Kyle's name is just running across a banner along the bottom here.
Oh,
Almost
God.
like this is all for you, Kyle.
Kyle.
For you, buddy.
And don't you know that Kyle would be such a better human being after getting one of like if we gave him like 10 canes for his punishment,
Oh my gosh.
he would be a better human being and he would go out. So it's almost like this. You know how they do like the catch release for like fishing? We should do like a catch whoop release program where
Yeah, but see, if you're going to use that analogy, how many times do you actually catch the same fish unless you like throw it way on the other side of the lake?
Well, see. Here's the thing, though.
They
In
always
that
come back to
analogy,
get caught.
in that analogy, if you do a good enough job whooping those cheeks and you send them back out, they will be your disciple. They will go out and testify on your behalf and say, "Listen, I'm telling all my friends, don't do nothing else stupid because my butt hurt. I can't sit down anymore." Like I
You
have.
heard it here, folks. Bernard is looking for a
Oh my God. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yes.
You know what? I try to insert something to I quit. I'm just going I understand the spirit behind what you're saying. I do.
You do?
I do. I get it.
Do
I
you?
understand. I do.
Well, explain it back to me. Explain it back to me. I need to hear it to make sure.
I understand the spirit of where you're coming from, but I just don't think that that's a viable solution.
Well,
In
let me
any
live
way
in my
whatsoever.
fantasy.
I think well, in fantasy, sure. In fantasy, yeah, in my fantasy world, I'd be caning Trump right now. But but when you say that people will have a problem with it first and then they'll get used to it, no, they won't. After a while, you're going to have another revolution on your hands, and it's going to be people coming back to whip your butt with a cane.
And then what
You
about
think so?
Yes.
No.
Yes, I know so, because that's what history does.
No.
Yes.
No, listen to this too, though.
Yes.
Like you're using the term whooping, right?
He did.
You have people that are like, okay, there are some people that a whooping doesn't do anything to. So maybe you won't whip me again for that, but you're going to have to whip them again for something else. Because some people just do not listen and obey just because they just don't.
Listen,
So,
a cane, when you get caned, listen, I hear what you're saying. This is not like going to jail because obviously going to jail ain't working. People look at that like that's vacation time. I get to take a shower. I get three meals. I get some clothes. I get some time out, and they just make a career out of it. So jail does not work. The next best thing besides putting a person down through the death penalty is whooping them cheeks. I guarantee it. You touch a person's skin, they are going to think twice. That's all it's going to take is for them to think twice. When you tell a person you're going to go to jail for some months, they'd be like, oh, whatever. And you put them back out there and they do another heinous act because they already got it set in their mind that all I'm going to do is go to jail. That's it. I'm gonna go to jail. That's it. I can live with that. You're not gonna take my life. But listen, when you get caned, they say that you pass out after the first hit. I don't know what type of pain that is, but they say after the first hit, you're out. You're out. They have a doctor on site to check your vitals and to give you some the Epsom salt to bring you back to continue your punishment. And after that, you're done. Then they send you back out.
There's going to be people, the same people that don't see anything wrong with killing people. They're going to say that's inhumane. That's not right.
Okay, Keena, let me bring it close to home. Close to home. And Chris, you might be able to relate to this too. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Book of Revelation, but they said that there's going to be a time in government where if you do not receive the mark of the beast, that you're going to be beheaded. You're going to be killed for not taking a mark. I don't know what that mark is. It could be, I heard, electronical because they said you can't buy or sell without this mark. But in the people's Bible, the American Bible, there's the statement saying that you will lose your head if you don't take this government issued mark.
And you're taking that literally though.
Listen, if I gotta take it literal from the page, because I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that they said that if you don't take this mark, you lose your head. Taking it word for word as is, if the government could do that, and there's not a revolution that rises up against whatever government that is, surely flogging could work. It's working in Singapore.
But no,
the
but
difference
history shows us that that form of government always falls.
Singapore is doing great.
That's because it's always been their way. That's always been their way. So those people have been born into that system, and this is the consequence for this. They've been born into that. For you to take people that are free to do whatever they want, that's not, and then back to your example as far as the mark of the beast. Yeah, you have people that are going to fall in line because you're not going to be able to eat, or sell or anything like that. You're not saying to these people, you're saying, I'm going to cause you temporary pain. You still go back to your life. So it's still not going to be like, oh, I'm going to submit to this. They're not. Like I said, I think it would be a great deterrent for just like ignorant stuff. I know I've heard before, like in certain countries, if you steal, they cut off your hand. Not only is that a lesson, you can't steal no more. Not as easily. So I know what you're saying. I get it. I'm not even saying that, the idea is crazy. I'm just saying to try to do that in these United States of America, where people are free to do whatever they want to do. Nobody's, it's not.
But but
you know what? The idea isn't that crazy, Bernard, because they're already doing your type of government.
Where at?
North Korea.
I need to go. Well,
North
let me
Korea.
go there. I'm just kidding.
No.
Yep. North Korea. Well, but that's how they do things in North Korea.
Right.
You don't really go to jail. You get punished. Do you want to live in North Korea?
I like that part of North Korea.
No, you don't. You say that because you don't live there.
No, the reason why I say it is because I don't do stupid stuff to get stupid canes. Like, there's no reason for me to get caned.
But the problem is that the people creating the laws, when does it stop? For what reason are you getting caned? And when does that stop?
That's different.
No,
I get
it's
that.
not, because that's what's going to happen. It's not different. That's progression.
To abuse that too.
Yeah.
That's where it goes.
Well,
what you were saying is, in your perfect world, it would only be this way forevermore. But that's not what history says. History says that humans keep progressing,
right,
and morphing into something else.
So with that being said, with that being a truth, we can predict the future, and we can really say that there's no stopping the militarization of the police because of the riots. The riots are giving justification for the police to have more military-like gear to be able to prevent this stuff. Because when you have Trump sending in more feds to these cities and these, state troopers and stuff, it's like the people that are being vandalized are saying, yes, we want that, because the regular police officers can't handle the mob.
You are actually correct. The more that this happens, they are going to further militarize the police.
So I feel like
they are going to progress.
So let's start giving out whoopings instead of giving the police more military gear.
Okay, whoop people. Okay, all right. Whoop them. Beat them all.
Beat them.
Well, you heard it from Shekinah.
Yep.
Everybody deserves a great beat.
Yep. Yes. You have heard it. You have heard it from Shekinah.
I mean,
thank you very much. Thank you very much, Shekinah.
I have been Trump. They have twisted.
I don't know if I agree. I don't know if I agree with you, Shekinah, but oh well. Let's beat them all.
Yeah. Yeah, Kenan, if there was a better way, then I wouldn't want people to get whooped. But since you're suggesting that, I totally agree with you.
I think we should do it now.
And you two suck, first of all. You are acting like...
Took a really violent... She really took a violent turn there.
No. You all are being like reality shows right now. They edit the crap out of it. They spin it, and I don't appreciate it. So both of you... I got a strong thing for the both of you.
Oh man!
Forgive me, Keena.
No,
it was
We're gonna get
caned down first.
I think we are gonna get caned now.
Yes.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
Like that? No.
Don't take us to the orange screen, man.
I'm with Bernard.
Because we know as soon as that curtain goes up, She's gonna be whooping us.
I'm at you. No,
I
but I feel like Bernard said, honestly, that like the law is for the lawless. I agree with that. So it's like if you don't want that to be your consequence, don't do that. In theory, we have innocent people that have been subjected to things that were unjust. So I see the same thing happening. Somebody can lie on you and say you did something that you getting caned for no reason. That's true. There's nothing that's foolproof. There's nothing. And really, the thing that I was saying was the heart of the matter is that it's not the consequence, it's the heart of the person. If you're a person and you're endeavoring to, and God gives you grace to not be in a situation where you can be wrongly accused or mishandled, then, great. Then those things will not occur. But whenever you add people into a situation, it's guaranteed to be flawed. And there's no, like I said, there's no foolproof thing. If you as a person go looking for certain things, then that happens. And then, you have the other side of the coin where you could be completely innocent. Like we were talking about, if he was truly just there to break up a fight, he walked, and now he's paralyzed. So there's no way to really neutralize any of this because you're dealing with people.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with you. I have nothing to combat against that. Like, that's a factual statement.
So, beat, don't beat. I don't know. Shakina didn't say beat people. Please go past this moment. So you see who the advocates for beating people were. I'm too tired to beat people. I don't feel like it. How about that? You be beating people all day, every day. I don't feel like it.
Well, yeah, in the beginning.
Can we take audio from this and splice it together so that we can put together, because I've been listening to your words like the last 3 sentences. If we could just take out a few words in there, then it would be you saying Shakina is beating up people.
More of that, Chris. Thank you.
I mean, if we could splice some audio together. I think that'd be a great commercial.
Oh my God.
For the Slanted Brow.
I've been embarrassed enough today. We said we wanted to end on something funny, right? So remember, I was telling you guys how. So my kids are doing remote learning, for the full year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my kids were having trouble logging on, and I didn't know my son was in class. So I'm calling his name. He's not answering. I'm like, Javon. He's like, the teacher hears me yell his name, and now I'm like, oh, okay. He's not being abused. He's not being mishandled. Okay.
Wow.
I was calling him repeatedly, and then when I finally yelled his name, then he hears me like, I'm in class. I said, you didn't have it on mute? No.
Oh.
Wow.
So I don't need you all making me look like I'm a violent person. I already, He said his teacher looked at the screen and asked him, are you okay? Like, dude.
What? 2 for 1 kids?
Yeah, like the phone didn't drop. He didn't fall. You didn't see any hands coming across the. No, yeah, he's great. I just was trying to get his attention. So I don't need to be, wrongly accused of anything else. Okay.
You're having a rough already.
Yeah, it's been hard enough. That was the worst 2 minutes of my life. Oh my gosh. So moral of the story, don't talk in your house anymore. Everything's recorded.
Yeah. Or
Big
just
brother
mute.
is watching.
Or just mute. I always have mute. Every time I use him.
But my son said, oh, I couldn't find mute.
Really?
I was
Here's my mute. My mute's right here. And every
used. Tell them. Right. Crime is down in foreign countries and in the islands because they still use Old Testament laws. An eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, hand for a hand, foot for a foot, burn for a burn, wound for a wound, strike for a strike. I think that is the what's the one Bible that expands? What is it?
The extended hood version.
Yeah, that's the extended version. You know what? Like I said, in other places, they are, they don't see nearly as much crime and things like that.
No, they don't.
That's what they've been used to. I said, that's just what they know. So they have a major deterrent, but just trying to implement that in the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Yep.
Listen, the key word you said was free.
Yes, I am not going to live in North Korea. Sorry.
No.
That is not the government for me.
No, thank God for grace.
But listen, he says the King James Version, right. Yeah.
The Amplified. That's what that version is called, Amplified, where they
Amplified version.
Yeah, where they give you the extended,
Right. They expound upon the words. But listen, let me tell you, this is also part of the problem and the reason why America is number one when it comes to COVID-19.
How so? What do you mean? Oh, because we're free to do what we want.
Heck yeah. These other places, when they say don't go outside, you don't go outside. And nobody says anything because government knows better.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't just some places. Like I said, I know someone who lives in Ghana, and it wasn't just don't go outside. When people were like, oh, well, I'm going to go outside anyway, they beat the crap out of them. And people were like, oh, that's what they're doing if you go outside? So it wasn't just
right.
It wasn't just the government knows.
Right.
They were actually,
right.
So I beat the crap out of them.
Yes.
So in Italy, they had to stay at home, and everybody stayed at home. They didn't have this, I'm going to cane you if you leave your home. And they got through it. They actually did a really good job at getting through it. Do you know why they did a really good job at getting through it?
Because they've got big, beautiful brains?
Because they're not stupid like we are.
But I was going to say too, you have to factor in other things though. Do they have more trust in their government there than we do here? There's a lot of people that just don't trust the government. So that's why you have a lot of people like, oh, well, COVID's not that big of a deal because they think that everything is conspiracy theory.
Well, 45 said that. When you have a leader who sits there and says, oh, it's going to miraculously disappear within a couple of weeks or something stupid like that.
Well, whoever believes what he says is not somebody that, I don't know anybody that takes his word for anything. I'm just saying, compared to other countries where you said that the government told them to stay in and they did, what I'm saying is maybe they have a different level of trust in their government or respect. Or you have to consider this as well. There's other countries that have done well to provide for their citizens while they can't go out. So, they've been making sure that they're covered by way of food and wages that have been missing and things like that. So if you're doing right by people, then their response or their reaction is going to be loyalty and respect for those that they're entrusted to. But then when you have certain government bodies that are like, stay home and fend for yourself, like, why would I listen to you? I'm going to go get this bread and potatoes. Because you're not going to bring it to me. You know what I mean? You have to factor in those different things. So I don't know. I'm glad that they've been on top of it. What's going on here? I had to unplug. Like I haven't been watching the news like that. Like I had to unplug. That's why you guys had to bring me up to speed, because it's just like more and more crap. And now we have the RNC, and I'm done. I don't want to.
You don't want to anymore?
No, I'm putting myself on timeout. I don't want to. I'm tired. I'm sleepy, in fact.
Wow. Okay.
Like, it's a lot.
It is. It is. Well, I don't know. Is it the end of our show? Are we ending on a happy note?
Well, kinda. Yeah.
Other people got over COVID. We haven't. That's not a happy note. Like,
we're still alive.
Thank God.
I like that. There we go.
Thank God. We made it to our 15th show. We've had great people join us tonight. Somebody even left a hashtag Swerve suggestion. I don't know what he said. Said something about a shirt.
B Plus said, random merch idea for Shakina. Reflect and Swerve. Like reflect our creator and Swerve. I play off of Protect and Serve.
That's interesting.
Okay. That is.
That's
very. Very.
So, I don't know. Well, we talked about a lot. We've laughed, of course.
We did.
Yep.
Anybody for Bernard before Bernard hits the curtain?
Yeah, we knew it would happen.
Are we going to say like our official so longs?
What is that?
I don't have one. I don't have one. You know, you tried to do that one time, and then the two of you had something to say, and then Shakina looked at me and she said, Chris, and I sat there and went,
Yeah, we don't
Because
have.
I don't have anything to say. You know.
So normally it just ends.
There you go. You know, Teresa says, "You all have a good night."
You too.
Well, there you go.
Here.
I'll give it a go.
Bernard,
Yeah.
I will try to have a good night.
Nice try.
Or
I
a
will.
pleasant, relatively decent night.
I'm gonna have a good night.
Have a great night.
I'm gonna go back to my catch whoop release fantasy.
Oh
Are
God.
you? Oh, are you gonna find a movie about it on Netflix or something?
No, he's gonna make one.
Oh, you're gonna make a movie?
Shakina, can you star in it?
Nope. Hit me one time here.
No, I don't want you to be the person getting hit. I want you to want to be dishing them.
Nope. Gotta protect my reputation. I'm not abusive.
Can I audition for your movie?
Yeah, please.
Okay, I'll be abusive.
Yes, Chris, you're great at playing the bad guy.
I am.
He really
I
is.
am.
Well, no, that's not a bad thing though. Dishing out whoopings is not bad.
Okay.
It is if you're getting the whooping.
Oh God.
I'm having flashbacks of my childhood. Can we end it now?
Yeah, we can.
Good
I'm
night.
just saying. You know.